Okay, so I haven't done a vlog in a while, like I say in every video I do. And so this is kind of like a behind the scenes of P.A.S.T. And it's basically experiences that we've had that didn't make it onto the show. A lot of the time in investigations we have experiences, personal experiences, but there's no like real evidence to like back it up, so we don't want to put it in the show because we want real evidence in the show. People have been walked through, we've been touched, we can say it, but it's not like hard evidence, right? Like, I'm not saying that any of us were lying, like I believe everybody when they say they have experiences, but it's really hard to prove to everybody else. So I decided to make a vlog and share some of the experiences that we have had that didn't make it onto the show. So in our season finale, we went back to the first place that P.A.S.T ever did an investigation. It's a little country church kind of in the middle of nowhere. We never disclosed the location because people have vandalized it before, and it's a very well kept up church, like it's not falling apart or anything, and we don't want people to go out and vandalize it, so no, I'm not going to tell you where it is. When I was first kind of coming into my abilities, the guy who started P.A.S.T with me and is no longer with us, as in no longer on the team, we went to this church just to kind of check it out, and it was the middle of the day, and we just kind of like, you know, sat down, and I kind of like centered myself and everything and just started seeing who was there and what was there. And the first person to come up to me was this older lady, and she was like, I knew right away, like she wasn't a threat or anything, she was like this like grandmotherly type of person. So I started kind of communicating with her, and I found out that she was buried there. She said she was buried there with her husband. And I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't really like trust my abilities all that much, and I still struggle with that. They're pretty protective over the place because I found out that they were actually two of the couples to actually start the church way back in the day. And she's like, yeah, but we're buried outside. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just had this urge to like go up and go to their grave. We got to this grave and I started reading the headstones, because I don't get names very easily when I communicate with spirits. I don't get names very well. I get emotions and situations really well, but names are like not my forte. It was a married couple, and their names were Mary and John. I don't really want to give the last names away either. I ended up doing some research on the place because I was like, okay, like, is this really happening right now? Like, really? So, yeah, I found out that they actually did start the church, and they were really active members, and it was an interesting experience, and every time that we've been there since, they're always there. They know that we're not like hurting anything, so they're just kind of like really lax with us. When Matt and Allison were doing the season finale, we didn't tell Matt and Allison anything that had happened in that church. We didn't tell them anything, because we didn't want any seeds planted in their heads about what was happening or who was there or whatever. Matt is super, super talented, like, at everything. I actually nicknamed him the Wizard because he is so artistic, so spiritual, like such a genuine person. He's brilliant. He's just all around, like... So I nicknamed him the Wizard. We didn't tell them anything about what was going on. And that night, Matt had the exact same experience as I did the first time I went there. He got drawn to the same grave, and he actually gave a willow wood offering. And I thought it was really cool how he got drawn to the same place I did. There are a couple of other spirits there that we have actual evidence for. For the new subscribers or the people that have never seen my channel before, There was a house that we did in the city I'm in now. We nicknamed it the Hell House because that was the house where Corey went from like total skeptic, like I'm doing this for shits and giggles, to going back to church every Sunday and totally turned into a believer. It's still one of the craziest experiences I've ever had. 3 of the 4 investigators that were there that night were hit, shoved, touched, walked through, attacked. It was a night. Actually, we went back twice. We were in the basement where a lot of the activity happens, but I think upstairs was just as bad. But anyway, we were in the basement, and all of a sudden, brand new batteries and everything just died all at the same time like that. And I was like, alright, that's strange. Camera died right as I was talking about that. Our investigator went upstairs to go find new batteries. So me and Corey are sitting downstairs. We're trying to kind of figure out like why all of a sudden our batteries died. If it was the equipment or if it was something else or what the hell was going on. All of a sudden, we're standing like 10 feet from the bottom of the stairs. Like, basically right at the bottom of the stairs. And we hear footsteps coming back down the stairs. And we look, and we see a big black, because the lights were off down there, but there was a light on upstairs, so it was kind of shining a little bit of light into the porch. But if you were to look up the stairs, it was still kind of dark, but you could see people coming down. We see who we thought was our other investigator bringing our batteries down, and it was like footsteps coming down the stairs. We looked up, we saw a guy coming down the stairs, and we thought it was our investigator, so like that's how clear it was. You couldn't see through him. Like nothing. It was just a big black outline of a man. Yeah. It still like baffles me to this day, but anyway. So we automatically like look away because we thought it was our investigator. He gets to the bottom of the stairs and he stops and he stands there. And we were like so engulfed in what we were doing that it took us a couple seconds to realize that he had stopped, and we kind of like both turned at the same time. Be like, what are you doing? Like, get over here with those batteries. We didn't hear him go back upstairs. And the thing about those stairs was they were wood stairs. Like, there's really no sneaking around. They were creaky. They were wood, like you hear like every little thing. So we radioed back upstairs. And we're like, where did you go? We need our batteries. Like, why did you go back upstairs? And he radios back. He's like, what are you guys talking about? I haven't even come downstairs yet. I can't find the batteries. And we're like, what the hell? That's like a little snippet of the Hell House. I have a vlog that's named the Hell House. You can go watch it. And that'll explain like everything. Okay, and then there was the German club. The first night we were there with Charmaine Not So Sweet Tweet. We were trying to teach her kind of like how some of the equipment worked before we just like threw her into like a black hole and said go find a ghost, basically. I think we were fiddling with the equipment or whatever, trying to get it all ready, and she's like, are those lights moving? Yes they are. So that was kind of cool because we had no explanation. It wasn't from the vents. Nobody had touched them. And as soon as they started swinging, and then they stopped. And it never happened again. And then very, very, very shortly after, like a few minutes after the lights happened, the pool table's right by like the door that you come in. That door had been propped open all night. It had a door jamb in it. A rubber door jamb on carpet too. Like, that's pretty hard to just slip. All of a sudden, the door slams shut. I went over there and I was like trying to like play with the door jamb to see if, it slipped or like what happened, and we couldn't explain that either. And that was before the investigation even started. There is a man there. And I knew there was a man there. And when I say I know there was a man there, I mean, like, intuitively. I knew that there was a man there, but I didn't want to communicate with him. I was just like, haha, okay, like, do it on camera, because that's why we're here. This guy had no sense of personal space. Constantly in everybody's bubble. And it was really uncomfortable. Really uncomfortable. All of a sudden, we would be hit with that, like, someone is standing this close to your face. And you're like, this is so uncomfortable. We got some amazing ghost box stuff. If you haven't seen the episode, you should probably watch it, because that was some of the best ghost box stuff that we've ever gotten. Like, we actually got two spirits talking to each other and having a conversation together. Together, not with us, but together. And I was like, yes. We caught a full-fledged, full-bodied apparition on film. That is in the first German Club episode. And she is so clear that somebody actually identified her. It looks like another investigator standing there, except it's not. They actually had like a premiere dinner for us. They had like this amazing like traditional German supper. Schnitzel. So good. And then they premiered our episode. And people bought tickets and it sold out. I don't even think they actually went on sale. Like the pre-sale, they were gone. They were gone. Like, the general public couldn't even get tickets. Like, my brother couldn't get tickets, my mom couldn't even get tickets. Like, it was bad. They showed the episode. All is fine and good. The reaction of the people there was really good. Like, everybody loved it. And we were sitting at, like, a VIP table, and somebody comes over to me, and they're like, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, go for it. And they're like, that woman is Leslie. And we're like, sorry, who? Like, what? And I guess it was one of their family members that had died really young. She died from, I think she died from an aneurysm, but she was really active at the German Club, and their family was really active with the German Club. And her younger daughter was with her, and her kids have also seen her there. And I was like, oh, like, good to know. Now we have a name for her, because we had no idea who she was. We just called her the dead girl, because we had no idea who she was. This is a good one. Oh, man. This is really hard to do when it's, like, still a thing. We went to Coppell Town Hall. It wasn't a really eventful night, you know, like, things weren't flying around the room. There was no, like, door slamming. There was no, like, you know, like, it was pretty quiet. Except for the fact that I went home, and ever since then, this was in about August, it is now January, I had someone follow me home, which I never have a problem with, because before I leave a place, I always do the whole, like, closing thing where, you know, you're not allowed to follow me, you're not allowed to follow anybody home, blah blah blah, prayer, okay, bye. I did that, but I was also really sick that day. Like, I only went until about 1 o'clock that morning, and then I was like, oh, I'm out of here. Like, I was really sick. So I don't know if, like, I was just super vulnerable because I was so sick or what. I still have the frickin' thing, like, and it's just in here, just in my room. He sits and just stands and stares at me, and it's really uncomfortable. And it's not just when I'm trying to sleep, like, he's doing it right now. And yeah, it's really uncomfortable. But the thing is, I think he knows better than to touch me. But the weird thing is, Corey has the same problem. It's the same guy. And we didn't even tell each other for, I don't know, a couple of months, until Corey finally came to me and he's like, I have a little bit of a problem. And I was like, oh? And he told me, and I was like, oh my god, he's visiting you too? Like, and Corey's like the big skeptic, right? And like nothing scares him. It actually tugged Corey in bed while he was sleeping at night, like towards the bottom of the bed, like by his fucking leg. And I was like, hell no! I've smudged. I've done all that fun stuff. It pushes him away for a while, but he usually comes back. On any investigation that we've been on, it's pretty common to get tugged on, to get grabbed, to be touched. We went to check out a location a couple of weeks ago. I kept getting touched. Like I thought that I was like leaning against something or someone had brushed by me, because it felt like right in your ribs. It felt like someone was like poking me, and like hard. And I'd like turn around because I thought like I bumped somebody, and there'd be like nobody there, no furniture, no nothing. And the first couple of times I was like, it must be just be like the way my clothes are shifting, although I've never felt clothes poke me that hard before. And so yeah, it was really weird. And there was also, and there's like the entire place is all antique furniture. So you can just imagine the energy that is in that place. It's all antique. All of it. The paintings, the furniture, like everything in this place. And it's all made out of stone. Certain kinds of stone carry a lot of energy. We've all literally been touched too many times to even describe, talk about, whatever. It happens a lot. I can't even touch on the subject of season 2 really. I can tell you that a couple of days ago, Corey and I went to have a meeting with a lady. She owns a lot of old buildings here in the city. 95% sure both of them are going to be on season 2, so you're going to have to watch that. Ha! Shameless self-promotion. It's not even a house, it is a bloody mansion. This place is absolutely giant. But the point to this story is that the lady literally gave us the key and said, here, you can go check it out. Just bring it back when you're done. Have fun. And we're like, okay. The last place that we went, because it's 4 stories and like a whole freaking city block long. So this place was absolutely giant. We were just kind of like, okay, this is here, this is here, this is here. Trying to get a feel for what equipment we're gonna need, like what kind of solos we could do, stuff like that. We're ripping through this building. The last place we go is the chapel. That's not even the correct word for that thing. It's huge. The ceilings are like 30 feet high. It's amazing. Probably more than 30. About 40 feet. And it's all like architecture, wood, and it's really nice. And we were talking about how amazing this is going to be for our 2nd season. And we're kind of standing there. Corey's taking pictures and stuff. We're standing there. And both of our backs are to the door. And all of a sudden you hear this woman singing or humming or something, like a female voice. And we both like froze and we were listening. And it sounded like a female voice, either talking or humming or singing. But it was like down the hallway and around the corner. And this is like a big empty building, like sound travels. But you could definitely tell it was in the building because you could hear like the syllables. And we both froze and we were listening. And then I looked at him, I'm like, did you hear that? He's like, that's why I stopped. And I was like, okay, I'm glad you heard that too, because that's definitely a woman. And so that will probably be on season 2, so you're gonna have to watch. I can't tell you where it is, what it is. All you know is that it's a big frickin' building with a lot of history. Bye.